Hello, I just wanted everyone to be aware of things. When people say that other people aren't letting them tell on things, they say, "Oh, well, just don't, just say it," and then they pretend they don't understand what people are talking about. That's why it's important to understand who is forging and switching names into branch and private with them, because they're involved with kids of each and people of each age of fact-shaping nature on and off campuses, further with the child offender, and with the policing of the schools with it. For example, when people come up, they're saying more, when people you don't know or people barely know make statements and confessions to you, whether that's debatable or not. In other words, they're saying more than one thing at the same time. That's where the judicial branch and the executive branch and the political branch, family members, people, their neighbors, their friends, where they are with the overt criminal enterprises, other private, not just the private tied to them, killers, people next to the body dumping spots, people associated with the investigations and the defenses of themselves, people associated with the DACA program, people associated with the family members. So this is not by accident. Inter-sciences, inter-campuses, intra campuses, the identity thefts and frauds. They leave. There are a whole bunch of ways. You could leave people with no means to respond, and if they're going to respond, they're going to attach your words to a fake conversation. That's why we have to. In other words, leading up to the World Trade Center attack, for example, in the attack context and since. Investigators themselves were already used remotely. Search your soul. Search their logic when they speak against crimes. When they are incapable of defending themselves. Forgiveness is not to give up. It's to address and counter the breaching method that uses them remotely. Now they're pretending we can't demonstrate their lying about their passions and emotions. That's when we have to demonstrate it to the people they've been using remotely. Criminally foreign influence readings of statutes. There are a whole bunch of exceptions to where and how we can't sue. We can sue the government, individuals. We can sue media. There are exceptions to it. It's worse than war crimes they did originally. Still, science never spoke for any location, let alone for any individual, let alone those most forsaken by that breaching method. So, it's identity theft fraud method. So respond for the schools fabricating audio and video to replace what is actually recorded audio and video, because uses of that were way worse. There are a bunch of ways they have other nations with the remote uses of the people they do. And then it makes you sound like you knew them growing up and such. These are people setting up exception nature to pretend they know people. And with the people like Joshua Julian, I had nothing to do with them ever. Also has people involved with Joshua Julian involved with forensics locations and various natures of police forms in their defending capacities upcoming, and if they're going to have to. So, thank you. Make sure I get a response for the because they use the method of using a crime method of asking people questions about what is recorded online that they have no awareness of. Then they attach everyone to fake words and do it multi-front with the news media. So the interbranch are preventing counters to their roles with predicate acts and methods, and with overt criminal enterprises, killers, and more people charged to the principal sex offenders campus, and to uses of on and off the news media, locations, and everywhere they've been increasingly. That's why they're pretending to be personal. So they need to set up reasons why. So that's why they attach me to fake words. Please fix the fake news, WFSB, WTNH, Fox Connecticut News. Let's go, because there are a whole bunch of... They also separate subjects so they can pretend not to understand people. Then they pretend people are making conspiracy theories or where they're saying everybody's bad. They're the ones that stack all these names into roles, forging names, switching names into branch, fabricating police reports. And they did this intercities of different connected time because they were still involved then and further with the principal child offender I caught before they caught him off campus anyway, no. So make sure I get a response. My town's police chief, his family, and 1 year ago are involved with the same house, a whole bunch of ways involved with the wire crimes over the past couple of months, month and a half ago, with names switching and forging with Sullivan family. Also people involved, some of all these names, people involved as people who went out of their way to pretend to know me, and involved with sequence shifts and with the child campuses, because you have some sick medical corruption of many forms and ones with badges that have already been long self-valuing it. You watch, America. Make sure I'm responded to. These are people involved with World Trade Center in the attack and since. The investigators also involved with predicate acts of mixed natures going up to it and since. They're involved with evidence racketeering every day. You think science spoke, you think law, honest, with honest passion and emotion, spoke for any urban area, any area, let alone urban. Rise. Respond for them right here. Pick one name in sequence, because they do use name switching and forging of all natures.